Hi guys, it's Wombat, and today I'm just gonna do a haul on EAA 5.4 because there's been a couple of two updates to my global map combo. One of them being of course EAA 5.4, but also Pashmina or Vanemap was released in a new version 4.1, which doesn't require the 4.0 fix we had. So in the video description you'll find both the link to EAA 5.4 as well as the link to Vanemap 4.1. So just swap out the files and also remove the Vanemap fix and your global map combo is up to date. And today I'm going to do a haul on EAA. Let's have a look at the map. We're going to do 1200 kilometers from O'Higgins at the very southern side of EAA up to, is it Ancud? Is that how you pronounce it? Probably not. Anyway, that's where we're going because this is the new parts, or some of the new parts of the map. And if we look at the rest of it, you'll see that it has grown more. Don't mind this line here, which is now even more obvious than it used to be. It's actually caused, believe it or not, by the UK, because that is on a different scale, 1 to 15, than the rest of Europe. So that is why you get this line here. It's just cosmetics, doesn't affect the game in any way. And here is the rest of it. So there you have 5.4. If you look at Vanemap, there's a couple of new cities here as well. So this one has grown a little bit as well. But right now we're going to focus on EAA. And before we start, I'm going to show you something I've never showed you before. My test truck. Yes, because I do have a test truck that I'm using when I need to drive around on my test profile for my global edition. So this is a carbon fiber only, old but very fast Scania truck. It has the 730 horsepower engine. It is the R model. It has a 12-speed gearbox and it's capable of doing about 150 kilometers an hour. So this is what I use when I'm testing my maps, and I figured today I'm actually gonna haul in it. This is gonna be a first. I've never actually hauled in it, so yeah, let's do that. And take a look at the new parts of EAA. And right off the bat, O'Higgins, to be honest, I'm disappointed. This is not something that has been made for 136. This definitely looks like some old map mod that was implemented into EAA. EAA is a little bit bigger is better, quantity over quality. To be honest, it's not that I do not enjoy EAA, because I do tremendously, but I was kind of hoping this would look a lot better than it actually does. Yeah, there's that. Oh, gotta take a turn here. No, and not hit anyone. So that is Higgins for you. I'm kinda speechless, to be honest. The for whatever it's worth, the snow looks okay. In some places at least. Not everywhere. Yeah, not completely optimized. Some of this snow is just, yeah. So O'Higgins as a city or village or whatever, not really impressed. But I wanted to start here because on the map the road looked pretty interesting. So I'm hoping that EAA has done some of the things they are excellent at doing, creating dangerous roads that are actually kinda realistic. And immediately, yeah, this feels good. This feels challenging. But again, look at the road. Do not look to the sides of the road, just look at the road instead. One could hope that, as they've done with some of the other roads, they put them in there very quickly, they look ugly, and over time they improve on that. So hopefully that's going to happen with this road as well, or the terrain surrounding the road. But in many ways, I guess the Map Combo Global Edition, in many ways that is better map combo. If you want to go for high quality instead, I guess the European edition is a lot better. Not to say that there aren't a ton of really beautiful places on EAA and my other non-European map mods. There are, but yeah, this is you don't come to O'Higgins to enjoy the beauty of it. Hopefully it gets better as we get further away from Higgins. Let's see what happens. At least my steering wheel gets to work a bit. Probably my microphone is picking it up as well, how the steering wheel rattles, and yeah, which is good. I like gravel roads. Rio, Colorado. That was odd. So from a very narrow road onto a bridge that is very wide, and then back to narrow road again. I want to assume that's how it looks IRL, but somehow I doubt it. Traffic is set, by the way, to 3 right now. When I do my map testing, I usually have it set to 1 or even to 0, depending on what I'm testing. But just for this video, I set it to 3. And there are times when I actually use it at 3, but not when I'm driving. That's when I'm flying around and don't have to worry about the traffic. The reason I'm setting it to 3 when I'm flying around doing my tests is that we do frequently see, I could have set it to 10 even. He's not gonna let that bus in again, is he? Damn, he is. Well, I wouldn't have done that. But then again, I'm not a nice guy. Well, the reason I'm using traffic set higher than standard when testing maps is that you sometimes see crashes and issues with the traffic itself. We had that with a couple of Southern Region cars when 136 came out, or was it 135? Can't remember. I think it was 136. I remember the Lada fix, among other things. So you had crashes in some places. Some people would have that, others wouldn't, and it didn't really matter where you were when that Lada was spawned in and you happened to go past it, the game crashed. So it's not like I'm going to be able to pick up on all of that, even with traffic set to a higher value than standard, but at least that gives me a better chance of catching those errors in case they exist, which is not something I did when I tested map mods in earlier years. The flying thing came to a start around 134, 35 perhaps, but I didn't fully trust it or implement it until 136 came out. But now I'm completely trusting it, and so of course that is a much faster way of testing map mods than actually driving there. And I haven't found any situations where it really matters, except perhaps credibility wise. Because it is, at least to me, disturbing that I'm showing you the global map and you can see that I've barely hauled anywhere. So it looks like I haven't done any testing, and I've been even accused of not testing. And I do. It just doesn't show on the map. So I've gone back and started doing more driving around. Again, not because it's needed, but because for credibility reasons. I guess it looks better, perhaps. So I do much of this, of course, doing no traffic, doing just flooring it. On a road like this, I can't floor it, but I guess it makes for a nice video instead. So that gives it some value to me as well. This, I gotta say, looks very nice. As long as we can't see the mountains in the background. There we go. They still look ugly, and there are so many map mods out there with those ugly, horrible mountains. Could someone just silently just delete all of them and make some new ones, high-res instead, that everyone used? I really hate those background mountains. They look so old, so ugly. Most of them, that is. Some of them looks okay, I guess, the green one there, but the snowy one in the background, oh, absolutely horrible. But I'm not going to blame EAA for that, because that is a problem you see on a ton of different map mods. Just by removing them and replacing them with something else could make any map mod feel and look a lot better. From some angles it looks okay, I guess, but for the most part, look at it! Ugh! And there, that's really horrible. Look at that. Ugly. Get rid of that snowy mountain, please. The road, though, very nice indeed. Get rid of that as well. I have to go back to Google Maps and take a look at O'Higgins and this road and the ferry here. One thing I noticed about these new additions to EAA is that most of them are connected to the main part of the map via ferry. If that is how it is IRL, I'm okay with it. But it feels like someone made something, a little bit of road, and want to connect it to EAA, so we add a ferry. That's how it feels. But maybe it is how it is IRL as well, and if that is the case, and this is going to be interesting, I'm okay with it. Let's see what happens. This tells me... Whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm also using a... Okay, don't use double trailers there. That's good to know. There we go. So, no doubles on that ferry. Stay away from doubles there. in effect, don't bring the 95-ton bridge to O'Higgins. You're gonna have horrible accidents if you do. I like the idea of fog. Of course, there's not much the developers of EAA can do about how fog is implemented, or rather not implemented, on ETS2. In some places it looks good, especially from a distance. In other places, nah, not so good. This looks nice though, except for the fog again. Yes, right here, right now, the mountains look okay as well. Whoa. If you wanna get down on the ground, Cochrane. Maybe? I don't know. No, you just wait there. My truck, by the way, is a 6x2 with a tag lift. Obviously not the best choice of truck for hauling doubles. 6x4, especially on EAA, is a much better alternative. But again, this truck isn't really used for hauling. It's only a truck I use for testing. She's pretty new, by the way. I used to have different trucks that I used. I used to just create a truck and then use it and throw it away after a while. But very new, honestly, is this truck that I'm gonna keep. It's the first truck ever that I'm gonna keep on my global map combo. This is gonna be the truck I'm using whenever I do my testing. It has everything I need on it, and it sounds good as well. So as you can see, I've only done some 8,000 kilometers with it. Most of that's on the southern region. Well, yeah, southern region, and all the complaints about crashes on southern region is the reason I needed to create a new truck to do the testing, because I've wanted to drive basically all over the southern region, and I decided I wanted to try the old Scanias instead of the new generation, and I kind of fell in love with this thing. So yeah, it's a keeper. I guess that's a nice ice lake, maybe, or maybe not. God, those mountains, please stop using them. this looks a lot better than Higgins floating tractor. It looks better than Higgins still. I would say Higgins kind of looked like 127. This perhaps looks like 1.30. And maybe that is close to how it's actually done, because this has got to be someone who joined EAA, already had a map mod, they got implemented into EAA, and this is the result. Even though it's brand new for 136, it was made for an older version of the game. And since it does look newer than Higgins, I'm guessing the further north we get, the better this part of the map will look. Except for the ocean there, or the fjord, or whatever it is. This looks pretty good. Except for that mountain in the background, of course. Never mind that. I'm gonna go on a mission. I'm gonna complain about mountains in all my videos from here on, until all of those ugly mountains has been removed. No, I'm not. But yeah, the mountains deserve to be outed, and people need to stop using them. I don't know what the alternative is. But maybe it's better to just go out on Google and search for images of mountains and steal them and implement that instead. Anything but what we already have. Now, I'm not a mod or map creator, so I'm not really sure about this, but it feels like, because I've seen these mountains on so many map mods, I'm guessing they are made by SCS, which makes me wonder, where the hell does SCS use them? Do they use them at all anymore? Is it something they came up with 1,000 years ago and stopped using 100 years ago? Because I can't remember seeing any of these mountains on any of SCS map DLCs, or the base map for that matter. Or maybe they do use it but camouflage them so well that you can't really see it. Maybe that's how they're used. But like this, fucking disgusting. So it's only 6:30 in the afternoon here on EAA, but the sun is already going down, which it does early on EAA. It will be completely dark in about an hour and a half. Oh, and I need to refuel. I'm not saying anything. Rio Ibanez. Cerro Castillo. Let's see, can we get past these guys? Come on! Power! No power, brake instead. Power again, come on! Yes! Get your cattle in behind me. No! Okay, I give up. Try this lane instead then. Oh, and by the way, I'm putting up a link to my updated ROS traffic and sound fix. Updated it to get rid of the ton of errors it generated. None of those causes any issues. The errors caused by the traffic and sound fix, but it's just annoying. So I have updated that as well. So I'm going to put up a link to the updated version. I'm going to call it 1.8, I guess, then, in this video description. And since we do have, there we go, 7 o'clock, and it's completely dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find somewhere to stop and sleep, so that we can continue doing this in daylight instead. Back to the ROS sound and traffic fix. The reason for the errors were, well, I excluded some more traffic, and that ended up in errors because some of the traffic wasn't found. Again, that was just the ROS traffic, nothing to worry about. And I've corrected that. So it's just a cosmetic fix, really. But nonetheless, yay! I got past the cattle truck. And I'm not really sure we will find somewhere to stop here. So let's see if we can just quickly Ah! With the console up like that, you can't steer, you can't accelerate, decelerate. There we go. Come on, come on. There we go. And yes, I know I'm running out of fuel. I need to find a gas station as well. When you add in EAA 5.4 and Vanemap 4.1 and the updated ROS traffic and sound fix, it's of course going to take you, I think it, honest to God, I think even on my computer it took me like 30 minutes to do the initial loading of the map. And as always, then the second loading is much faster. That takes, on my PC at least, only 15 seconds. But the first one was surprisingly slow. I think one might call my PC a pretty bonkers fast one, but still. It took a very long time to load it. The buses you see here, by the way, is in many cases, many of them are from the Vanemap. I was kind of hoping that Jonathan would get rid of all the traffic he had included on Vanemap from outside of Vanemap, but looks like the buses are still there. If needed, I could of course create a fix for that, but I'm pretty blunt. So my way of doing it would probably be removing the buses completely. And maybe that is not a good idea, because that could potentially mean that I would kill all the buses. Because I'm really horrible at mods. I'm not an expert in any way. Or maybe Jonathan is listening in, and Jonathan, please keep the buses on Vanemap, but only on Vanemap. I don't know if that is a difficult thing to do, but I know it's possible. Southern Region does it with its traffic. ROSmap mainly at least does it with their traffic as well. And of course, every map creator knows how to make their police cars appear in specific countries and not all over the place. With the exception of ROS, of course, but I made a fix for that. I'm absolutely okay with map mods including AI traffic. Fact is, I'm always impressed by the traffic some maps include when that traffic only occurs on that map and not on any other maps, when the map is combined with others. but if it intrudes on other map mods, it's just disappointing. By the way, if someone knows how to ensure that the Rust map traffic only occurs, sorry, the Rust traffic only occurs on Ross, please feel free to create a proper mod or fix that allows the traffic back onto Ross, because my mod completely removes the Ross traffic. Not that there's not going to be traffic on Ross, but it's going to be standard traffic. But if you have the skills to create a mod that allows the original Ross traffic to be visible on Ross, but eliminates it from every single other mod out there, I'm more than willing to just kill my mod and use yours instead. Because mine is just for, it really was made for personal use only. Again, I'm not an expert in modding. I don't really have the skills. But if you do, feel free to make one, send me a link to it, and I'll start using that on my global editions instead. By the way, it's April 1st today. I planned on doing a joke, prank, but I ended up not doing it. I'm not going to tell you what it was, but I didn't have time to finish it, so maybe next year is what I honest to God said last year as well to myself. The prank I have going there is a prank that I started making just a couple of days prior to April 1st last year, and it's a little bit advanced, so I couldn't do it on time last year, so I've said to myself, I'm gonna do that next year. Now it is here, next year. And I didn't have time to complete it this time either. Next year. So none of this is a joke. The truck is real. I'm using it, and I will continue using it for my testing. EAA 5.4 came out yesterday, so that is not a joke. Pashmina map came out just a couple of days after my last update of the global edition, so that is not a joke. And the fix for Ross traffic for the errors hasn't been released, but I swear to God it's not a joke either. Well, it feels like the map is looking better and better, as I predicted, the further north we get. gonna say this feels like 132, 133 perhaps. I'm gonna have to check how far the distance is from O'Higgins to Vorkuta. See if it's actually possible to make a route that is longer than the one we did from Ross to Wulumuki in China. If it is possible to make a route that is longer than that was, I will do it, and of course I will haul it. But no, I won't use the bridge next time. I'm gonna use something else, something that is hopefully possible to haul all the way. It's not gonna be a stupid standard trailer or a double trailer like this one. It has to be something a little bit more exceptional than this, but it's not going to be that far out as the bridge was. The big problem with the Dolvarios is that they are absolutely horrible getting over crests. It's so easy to get beached or have the Dolvario lift the back of your truck. It's just annoying. So I'm gonna use something else. And no, I'm not gonna use the 400-ton trafo or the 250-ton thing either. That's just not gonna work. What the hell is that thing on that mountain there? Is that supposed to look like a road? Or is it just an outlined snow? Damn, that's ugly. I'm gonna stop talking about the mountains. There's another one. I'm gonna stop talking about them. You know how I feel about them. Puyuhuapi coming up. My truck is faster than yours. Get out of my way. Excuse me. So nothing overly excited about 5.4 so far. But of course we've only scratched the surface. There's I think it is 6,000 new kilometers of roads added to EAA this time. It is truly bonkers EAA. It is in fact larger when you count the number of kilometers it contains than the base map and all 6 map DLCs combined. Which is, I mean, no wonder it took them 10 years to make this one. And of course that also means that it's very, very difficult to describe EAA, because yeah, you could look at this and say it's okay. It's not beautiful, it's not ugly, it's okay. And then you could go to Higgins and think that, well, the map is absolutely ugly, it's very old. And then you have other places that are just beautiful and really, really interesting to haul on, like BR230 for instance, Trans-Amazonica. It's not exceptionally beautiful in any way, but it's nice looking for the most parts, and the road is just incredibly interesting to haul on. And it's a real joy doing the BR230. If you haven't done the entire BR230, you need to try that out here on EAA. But if you happen to see EAA for the first time starting in O'Higgins or here, what the fuck, don't let that don't allow that to let you down and think that the entire map looks like this with floating trees and everything. It doesn't. Tons of EAA looks really, really good. Especially nowadays. They started, with the release of version 5.0, they started to update some of the older parts, and even they even started implementing their own assets into the map, adding a ton of things that we recognize, like the Jesus, the Christ statue, whatever, in wow, I forgot the name of the city. In Brazil, in not Sao Paulo, the other one. Jesus, Rio. Oh, what can it be? In Rio. So, and they've done a lot with Rio to make it look really nice, and it was just a huge no-name city prior to that, and now it kind of looks like Rio these days. So they've come a long way, and they've done a lot to improve on parts that has been around on this map for a long time. Unfortunately, that's not how they look at these new additions. For the new additions, it's more like quantity over quality, but they are working constantly on quality as well. So even if you used to have EAA on your map combo, or used to use EAA and stopped doing it because you found it to be outdated and ugly and not very realistic, give it a second try. Go back again and try, see if you like it more this time, and I'm pretty sure you will, because there is a huge difference in the appearance of EAA on 5.x compared to previous versions of the map. Well, one thing EAA has always been great at is making interesting roads. Even though the surroundings here again looks horrible, the roads are interesting to haul on. They're not like European roads. They are twisty, they move up and down, you have tons of gravel roads and things that I really enjoy hauling on that you can't really find in Europe, or at least not in the parts of Europe that SCS has implemented so far. Really look forward to SCS bringing us the last ever map DLCs for Europe, the rural Russian regions of Europe. Really look forward to that sometime around 2040 perhaps. Because there you'll find the roads that interest me the most. Not because I'm a huge fan of Russia, but I like the roads. I like how horrible the roads are. Wow, the skybox is going bonkers. The winds are very, very strong. Look at that. Again, something you see on some parts of EAA that I rarely see anywhere else. And there it stopped. I guess it is possibly by EA stitching together different tiny pieces of map mods into the huge EAA. When you go from work created by one guy to something created by someone else, you get that effect, because now it's calm again. But I've seen this many times in different places on EAA. Scheiten. That's definitely not how you pronounce it. Scheiten. Scheiten, this road not created by the same guy who gave us the first part we were hauling on. This is made by someone else. So there's our ferry, and we're getting close to our destination. Quellon. And and we only have another 154 kilometers to go. It will be dark when we get there, but I think I'm okay with that this time. I'm gonna try to be as quick as I can getting to our destination. See if we can still have some daylight when we reach our destination, although I doubt it. Yeah, these parts here look much better. I'm gonna say 134, 135. But something tells me that we won't see anything that looks newer than that for the remaining 145 kilometers. It's just a gut feeling. Honest to God, I haven't even flown over this route before I decided I wanted to haul here. Where the hell did the sunset go? It very much felt like the sun was setting, and now it almost feels like midday. Change of skyboxes again. There it is, there's sunset again. That's interesting. Traffic lights. Maybe. Maybe a tiny little bug there. It's not the first time that happens. seen it in other places as well, and not only on EAA. Guess it's an easy mistake to make, apparently. Oh, what a beautiful sign that is. I'm gonna give this map a score of 10 out of 10 for that sign. Thank you very much. Scania Oskarshamn. Oskarshamn, that's in Sweden. Now, how did I know that? Castro. We're in Chile, of course. So it's not Castro Chi. It's just Castro. Guess there are two Castros perhaps. One there in Chile and one in, I don't know, Brazil. Come on then, move on. Oh, just continue going slow, fine. Damn, he came in so fast I wasn't really sure what direction he was heading. So 37 kilometers to go. We might actually make it before the sun goes down entirely and it's pitch black. With a little bit of luck and me speeding a little bit perhaps. No, we're not gonna make it. It sets so fast. There's no chance in hell of reaching our destination, even if it's only 24 kilometers, 23, 20, 21, 20 before it sets. Here in Ancud. But it's okay, we're almost there, so I'm not going to change to daylight again. I think that Pash bus there is from Vanemap. And then you have the buses with the SUD skins. I think they are from EAA. So the buses I want to get rid of from EAA is the patch buses. And so here we are, 750 or so kilometers later. We have reached our destination for this video. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe as well. And till next time, everyone, take care. Bye bye.